No,
I was gonna say,
no,
I
I
thought,
have a great relationship with my dad.
yeah, I thought so.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But see, it's already awkward.
No, tell me more.
Yeah,
You
how's
said
it?
that
Yeah,
you said
keep
that's
going.
great, and then we stopped.
Well, no, that's
No,
what
it
you say.
wasn't awkward. I was gearing up my next question. What's your dad like?
Yeah, say one good thing about him.
Oh man, I could say so many good things about him. My dad is the most selfless person I know.
Okay, that was enough.
Uh, that's enough. Stop.
Okay, that's enough. I want to hear
Yeah.
more. Your dad sounds amazing.
So
Tell
keep
me more
going.
about your father.
I think we should stop this conversation.
No, I, this isn't a bit. I genuinely want to know about your dad. You told me a little bit, and I was very impressed with
Okay.
what you told me, and it was a little bit. I want more.
What, like just in this moment, you're
No,
impressed?
beforehand, we talked about your
What,
dad. We talked
what do you
about him
know?
because he
I
was
can't
starting.
remember.
He was starting up like a service. He was starting up his basically he was like single-handedly like bolstering up a church service, and it sounded like he was really giving and selfless.
Oh yeah, okay, so yeah. So my dad is a church planner. People can have thoughts and feelings about that however they want to.
That's what it is.
Um, wait, what?
I said it is what it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
people can have whatever they want.
Uh-huh. Um, and he basically small town, there were two churches, his and one other one. And it was sort of silly because his had hardly any people at it, and the other one had no pastor. Uh,
Nice.
so finally, the other one was like, "Hey, what if you came to be our pastor, and your people can come to us?" And he was like, "Cool, except I'm not Methodist." And they were like, "It's fine. We'll figure it out."
Is that how that works? I'm so ignorant to that world. Is that
No,
you can just
it's
No,
do
that's
that's
not
that?
how
not
it
how it
works.
works. That's
No.
not how it works. No. So my dad is becoming Methodist. It's a very slow process. Um,
Yeah. Well, welcome back to the UMR In Summary podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Dallas Lancinese. I use he, him, his pronouns, and I work at North Dakota State University. And with me, I have.
Nathan Dozier, I use he, him, his pronouns. I work at Fort State University, and I love Jesse's dad.
he's never met my dad. I'm Jessie B. She, her, hers pronouns. I work at Cornell College, and I love my dad and have met him.
We're
And
not
today
so
we're.
different, you and I.
Yeah, I was
Few
gonna
things between us really
say.
separate us from our relationships with your dad.
Yeah, and today we're gonna be talking about dads.
We're not actually talking about dads.
First thing about dads is it's a great root beer. Dad's root beer. Have y'all ever had it?
No,
Not a sponsor. Not a sponsor.
Dad's Rupert, not a
not yet.
sponsor.
Not yet.
Barks, not a sponsor. A&W hit me up.
Interesting. Is that your favorite root beer?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I think Barks is far and beyond the best root beer I've ever had.
I like how A&W has a dog on it, but Barks doesn't.
Yeah,
That,
okay.
yep.
Yeah. And that's actually the qualifier is if you have a dog on in your branding, you are like here. If you don't, you're like down here.
Yeah, but their name's Bark.
That's facts.
I know it's with a Q, but
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah, that doesn't change how I said it.
These opinions are our own and do not represent the opinion of UMR Akuho.
UMR's
Besides the
official
fact
root
that
beer is
we all do love Jesse's dad, that is the
yeah,
opinion of UMR Akuho.
yeah. The
I'm gonna
tagline
let him
of
know that he has the full support of UMR Akuho. He's gonna
That
be
he
so
does.
happy.
yeah, the tagline of UMR is we love Jesse's dad.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he
What's
has
his
no
first
idea.
name?
Actually, don't dox him.
I will not.
Oh man.
Oh shoot. What's our topic today?
Oh my gosh, we have talked about this 3 times. Coping with burnout.
That was a segue question. That wasn't like he didn't
Yeah,
know.
I
That
knew.
was just to get into the topic.
Okay.
Like you can take me from the top rope, Jesse. It's okay.
I'm sorry. You have asked that today though.
Watch
Yeah,
out,
I
watch
have
out.
asked it today. I found the answer. I was trying to get us there. Yeah, so today we're talking about coping with burnout and Yeah, I don't remember the rest of it actually. So you know what? Actually, you know what? Jesse deserved it. You know what? Okay, can I be okay? This is full transparency.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Dallas, you did one, it was a transitionary question, and it was a legitimate question because we had talked about your dad for so long that I didn't
Hmm.
remember. So
Yeah,
you're
that's what I
both
thought.
equally correct. I just took the side that made me look the least amount like I didn't know what I was doing. And it bit me. It bit me
I mean,
hard.
honestly, proud of you for that.
But you know what? Honesty in the workplace helps with your culpability with burnout.
Does it? No, go
Does
and
it?
get into that. What do you mean?
Yeah, please
Oh,
say more.
dude. This is my own like working theory, I guess, unless someone else can like corroborate it. The more that you're just completely straight up with people and just tell them like, yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about, at least for me so far, which has been I've been doing this for like maybe a year, maybe half a year, maybe less.
Okay.
And if I'm going to be entirely honest, probably like 2 months. Um, I, I have found that when I just straight up tell people I have no idea what you're talking about, even when I should know, and it's my job to know, it means that I lose the stress of people thinking that I don't know what I'm doing. And it loses the
Mm,
stress of me constantly being on the back foot to the point where people just tell me what I'm supposed to know. And now I know it. And if I forget it again, then I tell them again that I don't know. And we'll just keep doing that because I don't want people to think I'm more confident than I am. So yeah, no, it's helped me personally. I haven't felt like serious burnout since I was just like, man, can you just explain it like I'm five, but again?
I actually love that and think that's great advice.
Thank you.
Hmm.
And now I'm going to pull up our agenda while you guys talk about your coping strategies with burnout.
That was the other reason I assumed you didn't know the topic because I can see you're not in the doc.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I'm gonna pipe in here for support.
Yeah, okay.
I'm in the document. I don't have it pulled up though. It's just I just have the Zoom call up. Then I just look at. So this is all podcasts always. If I'm recording in my apartment, because in my office there's two screens. I can see both. If in my
Mhm.
apartment I have one screen, what I do the entire time we record is I stare right at myself.
I mean,
Just
that's fair. I
just
do a
right.
lot of that too.
I look right at
Yeah.
myself and I mean again, this is who really cares, but it's because I make the thumbnails and so I try to position myself where I do something so I can put a little screen grab like and so I can have it as the picture. Exactly. But like I won't grab any of those because I don't timestamp anything. So I have to
Yeah.
like I skim through as fast as I can to find something and then I just pick something. Yeah, so that's what I
I uh
do.
I delete my view of myself so I can't see myself when we talk. It makes it way less distracting.
Fair enough.
Wait, actually, that's a great idea. How do you do that?
You can, well, if I can find, I don't even know where my Zoom window is. There it is. I believe it's just on your video settings. It's, yeah, you go up arrow on the video settings, and then you can hide self view.
Oh.
So yeah, I think it's really fun that how long has like society been using Zoom and how little I actually know about it. Like I think it's so fun. I find it so fun, like because we're like 5 years into like the Zoom world now at this point, which is crazy to
Oh,
say
it's
that out
younger than that.
loud. And you can still get Zoom. Like if you're like in class, you still get teachers if you have like a Zoom class being like, "Can you? Is my screen sharing? Can you hear me?" Like it's like, all right, what are we doing? Have we not developed? No, I haven't. I'm not calling anyone
I
out.
mean, I haven't. That's
Uh,
always how I am in Zoom.
I'm also like 50 years old, so like,
That's not true. And even I know that at this point.
So, so I do love the prospect that due to Jesse overestimating your age by, I assume 2 years, right?
well, she thought I was in my 30s and I'm 28.
So yeah, so she overestimated by 2 years. Now you've already hit retirement due to that fact.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense when you judge like someone's age off of the fact that you can hear their knees crack every time they stand up, it makes sense, you know?
Yeah, I
That's
think that's
not what I did, for the record.
yeah, that's true.
It's the
I think that
bags
was
under my
prior to
eyes.
that.
Yeah. What are we talking about? Burnout? What's
Shoot.
like keep that all in. Burnout. I like I said, I don't have the document open.
How do you know when you're burnt out?
How do I know when I'm burnt out? Well, I know I'm when I'm burnt out because I always am because I work in higher education. Um,
That's
so, so I
real.
I say that as a joke, but there is some hint of like being genuine in that statement
Uh-huh.
because I've had I am so willing and ready to have conversations with like students who are considering the field of higher education, like whether they are my RAs or not. I've had conversations with students before, and then like they always are like, well, let's like be real with me in this space. And so me being real is always like you need to be a little bit crazy to get into the world of higher education. Just a little bit. There needs to be a little bit of an inkling because of the work that we do and the hours that we put in. It's not consistent. And I think that, I mean, I think right there, if we're really talking about burnout, like where it comes from, how you know, like I think, at least for me, an inconsistent schedule leads to burnout so much more quickly than anything can. The inconsistencies of like you have some late night hours, some not, like some weeks that are like nothing's going on, some weeks everything's going on. Like I feel like a typical 9 to 5, go to an office cubicle and just do paperwork for like whatever, consistent and like that. I wouldn't feel that. I mean, I don't want that life, but that'd be like, I just exist, you know? I don't know. So like, how do I know when I'm burnt out? I always, I wake up and my eyes hurt and I'm like, wow, I really don't want to get to my office this morning. And then I do. And then I start working, and then I'm like, wow, I actually love what I do. But it just there's always a little bit of me, I'm like, damn, I'm kind of tired. Always. So
That's facts.
yeah.
Yeah, I think you bring up a good the paradox of being able to love your job and also recognize that it's burning you out is also very real in higher ed, I think.
Yo, is the building falling? What was that? What was that noise?
It's a helicopter. I don't know why.
But no, I'll expand on that a little bit. Like, I think, again, anyone in this field needs to enjoy the work in some capacity, or like that the work is not gonna it's not gonna happen. Like no one who actually like someone who just gets into this field because of like, whoa, I get to live on campus for free and money. As a student staff, you know that you can fly by of just like
Sure,
benefits
yeah.
and I'll just do the tasks and oh well. But once you get into like after graduation, you're like, I'll do that same thing, but in this profession, that doesn't work. So you need to like actually enjoy a little bit what you do. And then going off of, like I said, like it's going to it just takes it just there's so much energy that gets taken out of everyone in the field that burnout is going to happen. Um, and I guess I'll stop there because again, I don't have the agenda up, but I don't want to accidentally skip questions. So I'm just gonna
Well,
stop.
you can just
No,
keep
I
going.
remember the last two, like the last, I feel like I shouldn't talk as much as I do in these podcasts. There's three of us here, and I talk too much. I talk too
You talk
much.
more because you're a man who has more to say. And I understand that and I respect it. I'm someone who I've learned whatever I have to say, I say in as few as words as possible. And it's not because I don't like talking to people, it's because I'm efficient. And that's it.
And I'm not. And that's the yin and the yang of us.
Oh, absolutely. Um, I'll answer the question of how do you know when you're burnt out? For
Uh-huh.
me, I know I'm burnt out because every it's not one day. If you have one bad day and you feel like, oh shoot, I'm not I'm not happy to be here, that's just a day. Once it's been 3 days of me straight not wanting to enter my office and do the work I'm supposed to do, and my to-do list starts piling up, that's when I know it's like, Yeah, I got some stuff I need to work out. The worst part is actually though, so when you do that and you feel like every single day is just not a nightmare, that's not really like it's so much less dramatic than that. It's every single day. I really just want to lay in bed and stay there. I
Mhm.
don't want to see my colleagues. No offense to them, but that's just not what I want to do today.
Yep.
That's that's all it is. And the problem really is that even days off don't help with burnout.
It's
Like
true.
it really takes something truly to kickstart you, either in your job or in your personal life, something that just kind of, I guess to use an elementary term, fills your bucket.
Hmm.
Like, if something can fill your bucket, that's how you can combat burnout. But it's not going to really happen just because you want it to or because you recognize it. Because you can be like, oh, wow, I'm really burnt out. And then you still have to go to work the next day.
Facts.
No,
This
so
is the problem.
Yeah.
you said something that I want to comment on because I've had the thought of so vacation, wonderful, great to take some time off. But not even thinking of vacation, I want to make a comment first. 2 day weekend, not enough. You need 3 days to make it feel like 2 days, but I'm not going to talk about that more. Moving past
Agreed.
that, vacation is wonderful. I appreciate my supervisor. I appreciate him saying, take time off, you deserve it, et cetera, et cetera. You have all these hours. I have almost 200 hours of vacation time. I should be using it. So, like, I understand that. Like, I appreciate that coming from above. And that like culture and mentality of like take time off, you deserve it. Work's always gonna be there, so it doesn't matter when you take off because it's always gonna be there. Like, but even in that realm, taking time off, you just get further behind, and it feels like you're more burnt out. But like I love a good. I typically only take like one like major vacation a year. I do it in the summer. I do it around July 4th. That's just like my thing that I do back to when I was talking about consistency in my life. Love a good, but it's
Mm.
not for July 4th. It's just, it makes the most sense because I get that extra holiday and it's in the summer. So I don't need to take another day off. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, using my hours. Regardless, so I like to take an extended vacation. I don't like doing like one Friday off. So I have a 3 day, like I like to take like a 2 week off to have like time to
Yeah.
live my life, you know? Because I don't feel like a 3 day weekend is even enough to like go somewhere. It's enough to like hang out where I live, but not go somewhere. So I like a 2 day or a two week vacation, and I'm like I take off. It feels great. Like the days leading up to vacation, I'm like I get my energy back, and I'm like, oh my God, I get to not be here. That's awesome. I get to not think about things. But I don't. I keep Outlook on my phone, so I work 24/7. Oopsies. Don't do that. Not a tip. Not advice. Not a sponsor. Outlook, not a sponsor. But I will be in like vacation mode, and then I'm having a good time. And then as the vacation is ending, I'm getting closer to getting back to work. I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like, just gotta, I'm coming back. Oh no. And then you get back to your office after 2 weeks off, and you're like, now I got 300 emails. This is sick. Let me take another week to catch up. But then the week that I catch up, I'm behind a week because
Behind.
I
Yeah.
took the week to. So like again, I love they take your time off because again, work you don't live to work, you work to live. You know, like so like take the time off, but also it's just so unfortunate, especially like in our world because things are always happening and everyone needs you all the time. But when you're gone for some reason, never when you're around, it's always when you're gone that they're like, "Where is this person?" Um, and then you come back, you're like, "Well, okay." Now I just feel like I'm making this episode terrible. I'm there's no light.
No,
There's no light
that's
at the end of the tunnel. I've said it's
there's
over.
okay. Well, okay. So I'm gonna just say there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Hell yeah,
If you,
Nathan.
yeah. So honestly, whether or not you have Outlook on your phone, that's your prerogative. But I use Outlook on my phone to mitigate when I take long vacation. How many important emails are going to sit in my emails? Yes, am I working while I'm on vacation? Yes. That is not advice. Don't do that. But for me personally, it makes me still feel like I am important and fulfilled, and makes me feel like I'm not just leaving people on the line. So for me, even though it's bad advice, it doesn't make my vacation less of a vacation because unfortunately we get so far into our careers, eventually there's a blend of the person you are also shows up to work. It's not just this separate and I haven't seen Severance.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
I haven't seen Severance. I haven't even seen an episode. I have seen an altar of a magic card where Ben from Parks and Rec's head is popped up with a little Ben working at a desk. I
Yep,
assume it's a split of personalities where one person goes to work and the other person chills in the world. I'm sure it's dystopian both ways. I have to admit that sounds awful no matter which person you were. That's the general synopsis. I'm sure I'm wrong, but
you're close.
heck yeah, that's what I like to hear. But I'm sure Severance has shown why we can't do that and why there's not a complete work-life separation. Because if there was, I have a feeling that either work Nathan would kill personal life Nathan or the other way around.
Yeah.
One way or another, someone's unfulfilled. But personally, I have a little bit of fulfillment going both ways. Uh, I will get burnt out and then nothing's fulfilling. But I think that has to do more with me than the content of what I'm doing. So my personal light at the end of the tunnel is not a complete separation of work and life. My personal light is a blend that makes you comfortable in both settings. And maybe I just spoiled Severance season. What season are we on?
I think they're in second. I also have not watched it, but I've read some things.
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure that I just spoiled the end of season three.
Yeah, you think that's how it's gonna go?
Yep, they're gonna find out that they actually need to, instead of severance, they need to opposite
Uh,
reverence. They're gonna get rid of sev, and it's just gonna be reverence. And that's not what that word means.
no, it's not, but we can go with it.
But then they're gonna combine it, and they're gonna be like, wow, I'm a real full person again. And they're gonna solve all the world's problems. Or it's gonna be dystopian, and then everyone's gonna die. That's how those shows go.
Yeah, I don't know. One of us is gonna have to start watching it so that we actually can get back to you on that.
I'm not giving Apple a single dime.
Okay,
Not a sponsor. Sponsor the podcast. I will get an Apple TV subscription.
I understand absolutely that perspective, and also Apple TV has come up with like all of my favorite shows.
No? What shows? Sorry, this is off topic. What does Apple TV have
Okay,
that
maybe not all of my favorite shows. Because
name
let's
one
see,
besides Severance, I guess, because I haven't heard anything about Apple TV.
Ted Lasso and Shrinking were really good.
What?
Ted Lasso and Shrinking.
Oh shoot, Ted Lasso was on TV. I didn't watch Ted Lasso, but I was told to.
You,
How
Nathan,
can I? I don't have Apple TV because they don't sponsor the podcast.
find someone who has Apple TV
Do you
and
have
you
Apple
tell
TV,
me.
Dallas?
No, but I think a great way to manage your burnout is is no, and this segues really well because like we're doing it right now. Like
Yeah.
I think having like a release in some way with people that you appreciate is a very good way to be able to cope with burnout, especially people who aren't your coworkers. I love I love the culture of higher ed, and I'm friends with all my coworkers. We get along, et cetera, et cetera. That's sick. Also, you see them in the job
It's
a
true.
lot. I don't want to
A lot.
also hang out with you 24/7 all the time. A little bit, yeah. I mean, but like it is nice to have people outside of your department that you can, whether or not you are talking about work or not, you can just talk with them and interact and talk about Apple TV and how you hate big corporation. I don't know. But Nathan, you had something to say.
I was just gonna say when you said that's sick, I think I enjoy the double meaning of that.
Yeah,
That's sick as in rad and awesome, and that's sick as in sick and twisted. You guys are my coworkers. No offense. I love all of you, and that's the problem.
Yeah,
and that's the problem.
no, like legit, like, and I,
No, it
I'm,
is.
I am so happy because I've gone through. I mean, this is my fourth year at NDSU. I've had several different team compositions now at this point, and I will say, like, my current team composition and those coworkers that are my peers, uh, I think this is a fantastic team and everyone's great. If you're listening to the podcast, you're all great. Thank you for every hall doctor meeting at least one time saying that I'm a UMR superstar. You don't have to say that. I'm not. But uh, I again, like, yes, it's awesome that you get along with coworkers. It makes the job easier. I
Hmm.
don't want them to be the people I see all the time. Like if I again, a dinner or a night out every once in a while, not a bad thing, but like can't be like, oh,
Weekly.
I just worked with you on a committee project from 3 to 5 and now 6 p.m. we're hanging out. No, I'm good, dude. I just saw you, man. Like, let me
That's
talk.
fair.
I need my other people. I need my podcast folks. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Oh,
Like,
dude, there are people who, one of my coworkers was in my wedding. One of my coworkers has been my friend before I became a full-time staff member. One of my coworkers is dating one of my friends, and another one of my coworkers is dating my other friend. Like we also have way too much inter-office dating. That's
Yeah,
uh,
that's a lot.
cutting that anyway, not the point. Or maybe I'm keeping it. I don't care.
keep it.
What I do care about is the fact that there are four people who are connected to my personal life who I also work with. What that does, it's not that my work is more fun. It's that it's that my personal life is less fun because now it's one, I supervise two of those people
Yep.
directly, and I indirectly supervise the other two. So whenever they or I screw up, and then we have
Mm,
plans this weekend,
mm,
Yes,
it's like
yes.
I would rather
yes.
get pneumonia than hang out with you. I would
I'm
rather
sorry in
have
advance to
pneumonia
all the
as
people
an
that have
excuse.
pneumonia
Yeah,
while
sorry,
listening to
people who
this.
have a pneumonia. Actually, pneumonia is terrible, but that means I mean it. I promise I mean it. Like, I do not want to hang out with people who I just had workplace issues with. It is absolutely terrible. I hate going to our local card game store when there's someone who pissed me off last week or
Yeah.
last month or the last time I saw them, which is who knows when. But the person who pissed me off literally today, or the person I pissed off, absolutely not.
Yeah,
That
well,
that's emptying the bucket. I don't know.
yeah,
It
that's a hole in your bucket for
it's a
sure.
terrible dynamic, and honestly, it's actually at this point probably caused us to all just not hang out at this point,
Yeah,
which
and
sucks.
yeah, and like I think what's like again, work friends great, but like when your main friends are from work, the main like yes, like you might have like a rule of like, oh, we won't talk about work after hours, but it's gonna come back to it because that's where you have the most of your connection is in the
Yep.
workplace. And if you're
Yep.
Yes.
trying to avoid or at least deal with your burnout, talking about work after hours isn't gonna help.
But they might have burnt you out.
And
They might
like
have done it.
and some people, and I'm okay sometimes at this, but not all the time. Some people are good at like they can separate the oh I like this person as a person, but maybe they I don't like him as a coworker right now, but as a person I like hanging out with them, but as a coworker like I don't want to work with them. I've had friends who have had friends like that in my same I don't know I've seen that dynamic. I've never had to do that too much, but like I've seen that dynamic and like if you can do that, like oh this is how I feel about this person from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. and this is how I feel about this person from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's sick. But like not it's hard, man. You shouldn't have to do it.
I'm gonna do my hottest take, probably
Okay.
so far, which is no one can do that. No one can actually do that. And the reason no one can actually do that is because one, if you're compartmentalizing, your compartments are only so big. Someone can only mess up so long in the workplace before you decide that you don't like them as a person.
That's facts.
Two, your work is now tied to your quality of friendship, guaranteed no matter what. And three, and the biggest of the three, is eventually when you do that, you are now not friends with the person, you're friends with your idea of the person because you're
Ooh.
friends with what you want them to be and what they are outside the workplace, but they are the same person in the workplace. And if you say, I don't like them at work, but I do like them as a person, that means that you don't care about the person. You care about the person outside of work. And that's just not fair. You have to care about the person the whole time, which is why it's not fair when you care about someone then, and then you have to act like at work, it's a completely different situation. I care about you all the time, so I'm going to care about you at work too, which means that you have an unfair balance of relationships with that person compared to your coworkers too, and that's where it causes issues. I yield my time.
I think I agree with that take, actually.
And the problem is I've learned this over 5 years because I've constantly worked with people who
Mhm.
are my friends.
Right.
And I've tried to do the compartmentalization. It doesn't work. I've tried to say we don't talk about work. It doesn't work. I've tried to say it doesn't matter what happens at work, we're still friends. Even that doesn't work because then what if one of you has an issue with someone at work and you launch a complaint?
Mm,
And then you're like, but we're still friends.
Okay.
No. Like
No.
that's not how that works. You would
No.
talk to me. But if you wouldn't talk to me if I wasn't your friend, then it's not fair to me to have that expectation. And it's no matter what it is, there's always the conflict of how you would treat someone at work versus how you treat them as a person, and then that conflicting. And it's not fair. It's not fair to either person in the situation. So that's where it's, do we not be friends with people at work? No. But we probably don't get so close that we tell each other our deepest, darkest secrets. Like, I'll tell you all that one of my deepest, darkest secrets is technically when I was in, I say deepest, darkest secret on a public platform, I suppose.
yeah.
Uh, but when I was in high school, I mean, technically, did me and my friends steal some antiques? Who knows?
I love theft.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically,
Mhm.
no. Also, hypothetically, is it just because those were really old bricks that were in our hometown and they were in the road for like hundreds of years? Maybe. And did the cops say technically we could get you with stealing an antique? Maybe. Who cares?
Not me.
Not me. I'm not telling you who has those bricks. It's definitely not my friend Alex.
Right, right, right.
But that's the thing. Like, but I don't know. If you just keep trying to make these really personal connections, they have to fall apart. They absolutely have to. Or someone leaves before it falls apart. You either die a hero, stay long enough to be the villain.
No, yeah, exactly. And I
That's
think,
good.
and that's the moral of the story. Jesse, what are your thoughts? You haven't
Sorry.
spoken in a while.
Um, so I have a regular hangout with my closest coworkers, almost every Monday night. And I think actually in some ways that's helpful. And then we're all really protective of like we eat lunch together and we are protective of that time because it's time to bed. Um, and I am probably the person in that group that has the hardest boundaries between work and personal life. And so, like, my Monday nights with them and my lunches are generally with them, and then we don't hang out a lot outside of that. And I don't feel like I need to. Um, there, like, occasionally we'll do another thing, but usually I'm like, okay, you got your one night, and now I'm gonna go hang out with my other people for the rest of the week. Um, so I think it is helpful to have those separate spaces. I had another thought while you guys were talking about that, but I think that's the biggest one is just making sure that there's a boundary and that that's maybe not clear to everyone because I don't know that everyone knows that I have a hard and fast boundary, but it's definitely clear for me. Um,
Do they watch this podcast? They know now.
Now they know, but like I don't have a problem with them
I
knowing.
my
It's
boundary is that
just
they can't watch the podcast.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. No, we
they're
need
just
the
not allowed
views.
to.
So
No,
I
we need the
can so I
no.
can name drop them.
Wow.
Is that actually? Are you being serious though right now? Like you don't
No, of
like you?
course not. No,
I was gonna
absolutely
say
not.
like you're
I would
restricting
never.
our views. Yeah, come on now.
Yeah, no, I would never
Yeah.
do that at
We just
all.
we just hit double digits on one of our things the other day.
Oh my gosh, did we really?
Yeah. No.
Double views. That's
Amazing.
crazy, actually, though.
Yeah, no, I think it's pretty cool. We're on the come up, and I think it's because of the advertisement in like the newsletter,
Oh yeah.
which
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
that
which
helped.
yeah, which at least gets people to at least potentially click on it. Maybe not listen, but click on it, which counts
But at least
technically
they
as a
clicked.
view.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay,
But
we
no,
have
that's
yeah,
oh,
where are we going next?
well, we have about 4.5 minutes.
Oh, real quick, I did want to say that it is honestly having a very structured thing probably helps a lot. It probably helps a lot with the like, oh, do you want to hang out tonight? Doesn't really happen. Because then it kind of limits when it
Right,
is. So it can't just be randomly, hey, we should all hang out tonight. And no one besides one person knows that you and that one person had an issue today.
right,
So now everyone wants to hang out, but you two definitely don't. But now you don't want to say no because one, FOMO, you don't be left out, but also the fact that you don't want it to appear to the other person that you don't want to hang out because of that situation, and they're probably doing
right.
the exact same gymnastics.
Yep.
So yeah, honestly, I might implement a we have one day. If we meet that day, awesome. If we don't, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's kind of it has kind of helped me a lot actually, now that I am like analyzing it.
It's gonna be
Um,
Wednesdays.
Great. Love that for you.
What clock are you watching that? We have 4.5 minutes.
I set a timer
Oh, okay. Damn.
because I keep intending to do that and forgetting so that I actually know how long we've been talking.
Fair, but we still technically got like 10 minutes before our next meeting, so like we
Yeah,
could.
but we're trying to be 45 minutes or less, remember?
That's
But,
true.
but hey, I've been told that depending on the length of the podcast, it's not even a podcast if it's too short. It's a talk episode.
So we're
I
looking at the past seasons of Burnout. So what would you guys do differently? Like, what would you tell your former self? So, for example, season one.
I don't remember even what I talked about. I'll tell my season one. No, whoa, what did I just say? Pause. Back in. All right. Okay. So you can keep that in too. I don't care.
it
Um,
made sense to me.
but no, the joke answer is if I wanted to actually like not be burnt out or avoid burnout, don't do the job that I don't get into this profession. That's the
Okay,
joke
facts.
answer. Joke answer. I love what I do. It's the only thing that I've ever actually enjoyed so far after being an 18-year-old past that. So like I've enjoyed all of this. But like I mean, I think my advice to a former self about burnout is like, and I still don't do this, so it's advice to my future self too, I guess. I don't I'm very hypocritical when it goes with like I always tell people they should ask for help and like all that and like but I don't. And maybe it's because at this point where I'm currently at, I mean, I'm the most senior hall director by like a year plus now at this point. Like I have space in between my most the next most senior hall director. Um and it feels weird to try to like take stuff off my plate and give it to someone who's been here less than me.
Mm,
And that's not a good mindset. Like I don't like that I think that way. And but I don't like if I'm being genuine and honest with myself, I don't think I'm ever going to stop thinking that way until I'm somewhere else where there's people who have more seniority than me that I feel comfortably in like, bro, I just can't do it right now. Do you have time? Like I don't know. Like I was talking with my supervisor is Brooks. He was a past president for people who don't know that who are listening. I was talking with Brooks the other day. I was following up with a situation that's been happening since February. I don't know. I was following up with the situation, and as we were walking out, he like genuinely asked me what can I do for you in this moment to support you? And he does this like this is always in our like weekly one-on-one reports like to like that there's always that section like what can I do for you kind of thing. And I've always been the person that I don't even use that section. I just put NA because I'm like there's nothing you can do to support when like me through this. I just need to do it. I just need to lock into the grind set, you know. Um, and then, but he was like genuinely like, "Hey, you can't give me that answer right now. Like, give me another answer." And then I did a big roundabout answer, and I didn't give him an answer. So that was my answer. Was I
oh,
just talked for 3 minutes and I didn't give him an answer. And then as a joke, I threw it back to him like, "Yeah, but are you taking care of yourself? You're in the office sometimes till 7 p.m. What are we doing?" Um,
wow, that is expert avoidance. You should see a therapist.
hey, that was rude of you to say. We're gonna keep going though. But no, I
Oh, he just
think.
avoided it. He avoided it again.
He did.
I dislike it. I dislike you guys. I'm gonna keep going. No, I'm just no, the peace meme and I just fade. But no, but no, I think my advice would be to anyone, and again, I say this to newcomers into uh the field, whether it's when they're my coworker or even when people are interviewing. I think because people will always ask um like what's one trait or skill that I should have going into like this work or whatever. And it's always the idea of like being comfortable asking for help. I always throw that out there because you should be comfortable to ask for help to take things off your plate because that's how you avoid the burnout. Because if you have so many things on your plate all the time, you're gonna get full and you're not gonna want to eat anymore. So like taking some of the like sharing your meal with your coworkers when possible, when they have the appetite for it, I think is my best tip of advice that I would give a past self, my current self, a future self, someone else. That's my advice.
Guess
That
I'll
was
let you
great.
give advice for next.
Me?
Yep.
Okay. This is my piece of advice. I could probably go on about this for a long time, but and I think I will say there is a difference because of how we're culturally conditioned in how men and women view work, I think, and how boundaries should work and work-life balance. And so I know that this doesn't maybe feel feasible for everyone, but my biggest thing since probably college, because I got really, really burnt out as an RA because I was trying to be all things to all people. It was like a place of insecurity in me that I was like, I just need to be needed. And so I'm going to make myself very necessary. And I don't do that anymore. There is nothing in my job and really in my personal life that like I can do that someone else can't. And I think that that is a reality that I have had to just embrace that like I am replaceable in every area of my life right now, except maybe my family. And that doesn't mean I don't add value. But I don't ever want to be to a point, even just logistically, where like I'm the only one who knows how to do a thing, or um, someone comes to me always as a resource and they don't have anybody else. Um, so with students, with coworkers, with friends, even, I make sure that I am not like the sole provider of a thing because if that happens, and I see this happen a lot in kind of all over the place. I think I saw it first in my dad, and this was part of why I was like, okay, this can't be how I function in the world. As soon as you become the only person that can do it, you can't step away. And so burnout is inevitable because you're going to always be called upon for your job or being the supportive friend or whatever. So I embrace the reality that I am replaceable and I make sure that there are people that can do what I can do.
I think my advice is unfortunately not as philosophical, and yours honestly is very worldly and definitely hits the existentialism of existence.
Mm,
Mine is just do what you need to do when you're burnt out,
mm,
not what you want to do.
mm,
Because if I have a day that I just don't want to be at work and I just have to slog through everything that has to get done that day, I have a to-do list. I have a to-do list right now. And if I was burnt out today and I do that to-do list and I get to the end of the day and I'm burnt out and I go home like, yeah, I want to work on my hobbies. Those hobbies are going to feel like they're more work and they make it feel
mhm.
like I have no thing that makes me happy, which isn't the case.
Right,
But when you're already in that headspace and then you try to do the things you love, you don't love the things you love. And then you continue to make it so you push away the things you love. So then even when you're having a great day at work and you're like, yeah, I really want to work on those things, now they feel like work because the last time they felt like work.
right,
And then you start to put yourself into a cycle of, can anything make me happy? And you start to convince yourself that, wow, this is it. Work's the only thing that can make me happy. And that's not it. So hold off on the things that you want to do, even the things at work that you want to do, if it's not necessary that day, and save it for the day that you're having a great day and you want to do those things.
great.
So, in summary, burnout's tough, man. It's multifaceted. It comes from a lot of things, and there are coping mechanisms, but find the thing that works for you. if it's making time for colleagues afterwards, but only on specific days, or if it's completely separating yourself from work. Either way, take care of yourself.
And that's been the UMR in Summary podcast. I've been Dallas, that's been Jesse, and that's also Nathan. You make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you tell one of your friends to subscribe to this channel, wow, maybe we'll do a 50 subscriber special when we get there.
That'd be amazing.
So I think we're at 25 right now. If my student staff member that wanted a link to the podcast subscribed. And so if you made it this far, comment down below that burnout stinky poo poo. I want that verbatim.